happy to start this podcast. Like after a long time, we've been discussing for almost.
We've been planning.
Yes. So now the first episode, we can talk about what the podcast is going to stand for, what the logo stands for, what the name stands for, and a little bit about yourself and what people can look forward to listening to this podcast. So first, coming to the name of the podcast, Devil in Details.
So Devil in Details, I conceived the idea because any one topic, if we see these days, we don't go into the real depths of things. We just skate on the surface and we gather up small bits of knowledge, and then we take decisions or we create opinions, we comment on it. We don't really go into details of anything. And only when you go into details, you can see the real picture. Unless we gather the facts in detail, the surface facts get distorted with so many comments and so many opinions, particularly in social media. People gather up all sorts of views, and which is not consistent with the facts. And at the end of the day, we don't know really what is the fact for which these opinions are being expressed. It becomes like this 2008 derivatives, which were all toxic because the underlying asset was forgotten. And similarly, the underlying fact of many things is simply forgotten, and we end up with opinions and views and probably judgments which is not consistent with the fact. So I thought, however less number of topics we take, let us go into details now some things. And if we have some innovative opinions, if we have some new thoughts, let us bring it and let us define what we want as individuals, as communities, as state, as nation, at different levels. What are we looking for? We don't seem to have a consistent idea of what we are looking for in next 5 years. Then somebody speaks about 2047, and somebody speaks about little further than that. Talking about it is good enough, but how is our path defined? Whether we are in the path of achievement, or it is only for today's consumption. And when it comes to 2047, those who spoke about 2047 will not be there to own the fact that we have not reached what we promised. That can be true with anything, with individuals' lives, with the nation's life. So let us go into certain details of things and let us find out whether whatever we profess to achieve, are we achieving it? Are the facts consistent with it? And how we are going about is right or wrong. Because nation should have a vision for thousands of years, if not otherwise, you see, we can't take decisions which are only for few years, election to election. There has to be grander vision. So keeping these things in view, I thought we should term our channel as Devil in Details. And there are already thousands and thousands of YouTube channel, social media, podcasts. Are we adding to it? Yes, we are definitely adding to it. And if the viewers find some value in it, in terms of a different opinion born out of deeper facts, then they will maybe subscribe or take to it. Even otherwise, we have the happiness of expressing before the whole world. This is something which is extraordinarily beautiful. Now we are talking to the world. I mean, the last Eskimo sitting in Greenland can subscribe to our channel or tune into our channel and watch us. It is something which has never happened in this world, in the history at all. Now, even if I don't have one audience also, I still am a majority of one, because I am able to express my view for the whole world to see or not to see. That's a choice they have. But we have the technology to broadcast. Imagine. Yeah. This is something unimaginable. So when we are doing it, let us do a good job. We're not for government, we're not against government, we're not for this person, we're not for that person or against this person. Finally, facts should speak for themselves, timelines should speak. Only they matter finally, because that brings out the truth of the picture. So this is the idea.
So I definitely wanted to be a part of this podcast for a very long time when podcast started trending itself. Before that, we've had conversations in private. I've been knowing you. I know you for a while now. So you read a lot, and I was always amazed by the clarity and perspectives. So it definitely opens up a lot of avenues to me. So I thought this is something which will help a lot of people in their thought process itself. Whatever we see on internet right now is majority wise entertainment or something they just read out from probably a newspaper and they just say this is what is happening. But nobody goes behind and actually tries to figure out why it happened or what is the long-term idea behind that particular incident.
Yes.
So I think a lot of things are going to unfold in terms of understanding itself, in terms of what is happening around us through this podcast.
No, Vignesh, as you said, we have been talking about this idea for years together. Somehow the circumstances did not coagulate in a manner that we could come and now we have a fairly nice studio to ourselves, and we have chalked out a timetable that weekly, maybe twice or thrice, we will be able to prepare one broadcast at least, and we will take up some topic and we will see how threadbare, analyze it and give a new perspective. Because generally we see people, they follow a herd mentality and nobody analyzes it and thinks that what is the core issue. If you understand the core issue, then you will be able to come up with any solution, and anything which you want can be achieved. Suppose somebody tells me, suppose I want to climb the Mount Everest. Entire world will laugh, including myself, for the simple reason that I will not be able to do it. But it is a false thing that I cannot do it. I will not do it is the right thing. I won't attempt such a thing. I will not do it is a different thing. But if I say I have to do it, there is no choice, then we will go into what all is required for climbing Mount Everest. What is the kind of practice that is required? Maybe for a normal healthy person, it may be a practice of 2 years or 3 years or 5 years. For me, it may take 15 years. I may still be able to achieve or not achieve, but what it takes to achieve something. Suppose we fix national goals. That there shall be, let us say 90% of poverty will be gone, 100% literacy, 100% of health, access to health, 100% of housing. Then once we fix the goals, then we have to fix the way to do it, or the ingredients which will go into it in terms of work, in terms of... So likewise, whatever we say should have a complementary work plan also. As a nation, if you say it is a mission, then it should have a work plan. It should have a resource plan. It should have a work plan. And the right person should man that project or the mission. And target has to be reached. When President Kennedy said that within this decade, a man should be put on moon and brought back safely. He had the vision to say not only put on moon and abandoned there, but brought back safely. The whole nation worked towards it because the time has been set. The goal has been set. Now it is a question of you have to achieve it. It is like me climbing the Mount Everest. But it was achieved. That nation could achieve it. And man was put on moon and they were brought back. Not once but several times. So what is our national goal or goals? And what are we going to do about it? What is the plan? Is the plan only a PowerPoint presentation to impress certain superiors? Or is it a plan in which the last person will be a participant? Last citizen will be a participant. And will he own it? Who will own the projects? Who will own the goals? Who will own the work plan or the path? These are the questions. And once you are able to take the whole citizenry or the populace with you, then every project will become owned by everybody. That is how nations are. Today, I have spent about 33 years in government, and every time a Republic Day or Independence Day comes, in our office there will be about 5% of people will come for unfurling of flag or hoisting of flag or whatever. Most of the officials will not come. That means they don't own it at all. It's a very simple example. Like that, there can be anything. We can talk about Swachh Bharat, we can talk about so many things we can talk about on the way of our journey, since we are starting it now. What exactly is the ownership of a citizen to the local goals, state goals, national goals? Where does it go? What are the details involved? Because finally the devil is in details. It's not in a 20-minute podcast. You have spoken, somebody has spoken, and the matter is over. It doesn't work that way. There has to be extraordinary passion. Only then it works out. Otherwise, a country like Japan, I feel every child before coming out of 12th standard should visit Japan, should be made to visit Japan. Very tall desire, but at least 1 lakh children from India can go. Out of merit, they can select. Need not be the children of even 3rd standard, 4th standard are able to cross the roads. In busy city of Osaka, they are crossing the roads, going to tuition, coming back. Traffic will stop for them. Hardly any accidents. After 2 atomic bombs and complete bombing of them during World War II, at the end of World War II, they came up. They became a 3rd largest economy in the world.
True.
It doesn't talk about anything except the people. Except the people. What are we made of? What are they made of? What we should do to achieve our goals? Do we have it in us? If we have it in us, we should. If we don't have it in us, at least let us not make a mockery of ourselves, trying to fool ourselves in the world that we are a victim or somebody is doing this to us. Today in one of the groups, somebody had written that China is undervaluing all their exports to India, and they are. How can they undervalue without our knowledge or consent or our connivance? How can they undervalue? How can they undervalue anything?
It's a mutual.
It is our fiber which is. If suppose somebody is you have asked them a undervalued invoice, so they are supplying. They are clear that they want to export goods. They are not bothered how do you account with customs or how do you account with anybody, how you pay your taxes. You pay your taxes, evade your taxes. It's not his business. His business, he is very clear. I will manufacture, and whenever a buyer comes, I will export it.
That's all.
He is very clear. He is moral about it. He cannot start seeing whether I am declaring the value of his goods correctly in the Indian port.
It's none of his business to do.
He's not bothered. Why should he bother? I'm not able to understand why we should find fault with anybody. If we are morally upright, why should we bother about what he is doing? You go and tell him that Mr. So-and-so, please give me an invoice which reflects the true value of it. You bargain, that's not a problem. That is a trade, this thing. But once you come to a conclusion that I want it 100 rupees a kg, let us say whatever would be the goods, you should say please reflect 100 rupees a kg in the invoice and please classify it correctly in the code. Then you don't need to defend yourself. There is no need for saying that there is undervalued goods, or it is at your request that they are doing it. It is us who initiate the not so legal aspects of things in many affairs.
In result is you pay less taxes to the government.
Yes, when you bring it here, you pay less taxes. To evade taxes, you undervalue. But how can you say that China is undervaluing? China is only exporting goods. If you tell them to give it at 1 rupee a kilo, he will give. How does it matter to him? As long as money reaches to him some other channel. You are evading taxes, you are undervaluing it, you are using the illegal routes of sending the money. You are doing things at so many stages. Like that, there are examples. This came to me in the top of my head, so I spoke. But in many walks of life, everywhere there is some effort or some deliberate effort to circumvent the situation.
And are there methods and means in India to actually figure that out, find that out by the government?
That is where we have to go into details. We will talk about the corruption and how to contain it in great detail. It's not by raids, but how to improve the system. Somebody has to study the system at every line. Otherwise, one of the most respected institutions of this country is UPSC. One of the most respected institutions.
Most difficult exams.
Not only difficult exam, the integrity of the exam, the purity of the process, the integrity of the whole UPSC has never been tarnished. But one girl in last year, she could do things which are outrageous, and she got into the service by misrepresenting, by giving false certificates. See, it does not reflect anything on UPSC as an institution. It reflects on the candidate. With these kind of devious means, if you have to join the service, at the joining stage itself, if your deviousness is of this level, then what will be your service to the country? What will be your overall this thing? Now, UPSC had to redesign, remodel their forms itself. Their trust on candidates has definitely gone down. So all the candidates who are otherwise honest also have to suffer the ignominy of going through a process which doesn't trust you. This happens with everything, with every institution, every process. Not correct. Somewhere something is terribly, terribly wrong. And if we keep on going into details, into everything, we'll be able to find many things which are very different from what we perceive.
True. I think education itself starts.
Education. We will spend a lot of time on education. There is a new education policy. We'll try to look at it threadbare. We'll see the aspects of it at great detail. There is this 3-language formula, politicizing of it.
So there are two aspects. One is politics, one is the government policy. So you know both. As with the government policy,
no, means we have seen it happening. Government is the one which enunciates all the policies. They are the masters.
So bureaucrats actually make the policies.
No. Bureaucrats don't make they are not supposed to make the policy. They have to give the policy options, or they have to give all the facts and figures in such a way that the political masters will arrive at a right policy decision.
Okay.
Whatever
the final say is by the politicians, like the leaders of the country.
Yeah. What is the policy that the government will adopt and it will be followed by the country is definitely in the political hands. They are the masters. There is no doubt about it. But there we will go into details and see how Indian political elite sometimes works in such a way that the bureaucracy is able to take the burden, or you can say the leadership of framing policies. They are in a position to give options in such a way that the option which they want to pass will get passed.
Okay.
You're able to understand.
Yeah, the pros and cons, the weightage and all is given.
So if you have read Yes Minister, you will know. Mr. Humphrey will give the options in such a way that invariably whatever he wants will get selected by the minister. But the minister or the political leadership should be so extraordinarily insightful into things that they will know that they are being taken for a small ride or a big ride.
Okay.
If a bureaucrat knows his place in this whole structure, it is good. But that is good only if the political masters have the wisdom to give the leadership. If they abdicate that and get into the field level, attractions of the field and implementation, because that is where the power and the money, or authority and the money both lies in implementation. If you get attracted to that part of the whole game, then it becomes difficult. Then the role gets reversed. Then the bureaucrat becomes the political master in terms of policy making. He also becomes a active abettor along with the politician at a lower level for implementing. So this is very tricky and complex. What is the lure of politics? If you ever think of it, you should sit and think. People who are watching this, or people they should See, politics is supposed to be a selfless service for the community, for the state, for the nation, or whatever. But why does it attract so many people in this country? Are so many people selfless? Are so many people service oriented? Is there no great remuneration in it? What is the revenue model in it? That youngsters get into politics as assistant to some councillor, and assistant to some MLA, or assistant from some politician, local politician, and they keep growing, then they become councillors.
Right.
Now, politics as a profession, see, civil service as a profession is well defined, is very well defined. You write an exam, it's competition for thousands of years in China and all, there is meritocracy. People write an exam, based on merit they are selected, they have a clear-cut position in the structure, they are promoted, they go up in the bureaucratic ladder and things.
Proper system is in place.
Proper system is. Now, tell me, what is the meaning of politics as a profession? Because in India you seem to be having, it is growing, this tribe is growing. Politics cannot be a profession. Politics has to be a internal drive and a desire to serve and make yourselves available for the service of the nation or the community, whatever level you want to serve. But politics as a profession is a thing which we have to really analyze, because profession has got a meaning. Now we have to check up exactly what does profession mean. Profession means a work for which you have a remuneration, and you are excellent in that work, and you are
of tasks.
And you are only doing that. Like a doctor is a professional, a lawyer is a professional, engineer is a professional. Politician as a professional is something very difficult to understand. Very difficult to understand. But if I say that it is difficult to understand, people laugh at me. I mean, what are you saying in India? Politician is a. So I will ask whether politics is a career. How does one get into it? What is the threshold for getting into it? What are the threshold requirements? What is the qualification? What is the examination to be passed? What are the traits to be learnt? What are the methods that I have to adopt? What is the behavioral traits that I should have? What is the kind of physical strength I should possess? What is the mental strength I should possess? These are the things for a profession. If I tell somebody that I want to become a politician, nobody will be able to tell what I should do.
Path, nobody knows.
Nobody knows. But at the same time, this society seems to be spawning politicians like mosquitoes.
People just say make money, then get into politics. This is the first thing they are. Otherwise, you're going to suffer in politics, and then you're going to make money later if you keep suffering over a period of time. So people have that mindset that it can be bought, the seats or whatever. Then they try to get the money back. They don't represent the people's interest. Is probably what I hear from people. So there's no book like set rules to become a politician. Just keep working.
No, as you say, if you have huge money, like many people we see, there are many businessmen, I've seen in Tamil Nadu at least, many businessmen who have a lot of money, their desire turns towards making films. Have you seen?
Yes. Producing films.
Now,
acting.
If you acting, one or two very crazy persons, we both know, they may be running a huge retail chain. He may want to act also. He may have thousands of crores at his disposal. He may want to act also. But there are many people who love to be a producer. For what reason, we do not know. Or there may be reason which we know, but we cannot know. So there are many things about it. Now, similarly, you say that if a man has a lot of money, only then he can get into politics. He should get into politics. They think of getting into politics. Now, that is very different. That is a very set route. You have a lot of money, you lobby yourself, get into some market yourself, get into a safe seat and win in Lok Sabha, or get into Rajya Sabha, or get into some MLA seat or whatever it is. That's a different thing. But there are extraordinary examples like our own Prime Minister, who has come from pretty humble beginnings. And he has risen to the top. Not only he has risen to the top, he has stayed there. Not only he has stayed there, he continues to stay there, and with people's mandate. See, whatever be our reservation on certain aspects of him, but the man is self-made. The man is self-made. He went into the whole thing with the idea of service. If you know the background of the whole thing, he was with RSS and he was a pracharak and all those things at a very young age he went.
Yes.
And the first political office which he held was not MLA and all. Straight away Chief Minister. Straight away Chief Minister. Because the party felt that they can repose their faith on this man, that they can make him a Chief Minister directly.
That's a big thing. Very big.
It is extraordinary.
Yeah.
I mean, people wear themselves out as a councillor or a that Jila Parishad or MLA, forever trying to become a minister in the state, and then maybe become some governor at 70 years or whatever it is. Here is a man who, I mean, we may agree with all that he says and does or not agree, but devil in details when you go to, we may agree something, we may not agree, because certain details are extraordinary. He has become on his own. Nobody can say that he is not a self-made person. If you want politics as a profession to be defined for the purpose of entry into politics and sustenance in politics, this is an extraordinary example. This is an extraordinary example of a man who joined politics not as a politician, but as a service person, as a person who wants to serve the community.
Correct.
When he joined RSS and he was serving the community as a pracharak or any other post, he was not doing it to become CM or PM. He was not having that in goal. But he did things by which this came along. This came along as a concomitant to whatever he was doing. Now that part is to be understood. Whereas here you are saying that I want to become if suppose somebody comes and asks, a youngster, he asks, I want to become a doctor. You know what is the answer. You write NEET, you going to get in the college. Want to engineer, no problem at all. Likewise, you want civil service. If somebody comes and says, I want to become a politician, what will be your answer? What will be a politician's answer? We should get hold of some politicians here in our forum.
To actually understand.
Without telling them that what they're going to get into. And we will grill them. We'll ask them, sir, you tell us what we should do, what we should tell our children or grandchildren. They want to become politicians, what they should do. Many of them will say, shall we switch off the mic and then we will talk.
No.
So it is a very crazy thing that we have in a democracy where enlightened citizenry is the linchpin of all democracy. A citizen who is enlightened towards his socio-political goals and economic behavior. We do not have a clear-cut idea as to what it takes to become a politician, what it takes to become a good politician, who are the people who are becoming politicians, are they sons of politicians alone or daughters, how many new people like our Prime Minister have been able to mint themselves into being a CM or a PM.
So at some point of time, it was you win people's hearts, they vote for you, you become a politician. But now, I've been seeing lately that people don't even know who their MLA is, who their MP is.
I don't know who is my MLA is. Honestly, I don't know who my MLA is. I don't know who is my ward councillor. I don't know who my MLA is. But I know who is my MP.
Okay.
Because she is highly educated and she was a professor and she is our MP.
Got it.
So, I know who is our MP.
So
but MLA, I don't know.
So it's not real that you have to win people's hearts and actually become a politician, or we don't always get the person whom we want as a leader also.
No, we don't.
So is it that we were also talking at some point of time that democracy cannot work? It has been proven for some point of time that 51% is democracy. Then how is democracy going to work?
I shared that YouTube, a mathematician had proved clearly that democracy as it is found in the world in various forms, hardly 3-4 forms are there. The man ruling us does not represent the majority.
Always. Most
it is near impossible for a person to have majority, and if there is a precondition that only if you have majority you can win, then it becomes difficult. Then it becomes a mathematical impossibility. Even now you see what is BJP's vote share or Congress vote share when they were in power, when these people are in power, what is DMK's vote share. It may be about 35% or so. So The remaining 65%, whatever be their political patronage or political leaning, they are not part of the government. They are not part of the majority. So they are part of 65. So 35 is the one which rules us. They are the people who make. Now, those are again very huge topics in which there are hardly any answers. Then what is a better system? Then what is a good system? Those are conceptual or theoretical topics which we should talk sometime. Can we refine the system in such a way? Can there be proportional voting with weightage for each vote? I personally feel if you take it mathematically, and if there is no whip, a president of India he or she represents the democratic will of the people more than a prime minister.
Very interesting.
We will talk about this topic certainly.
Okay.
How the voting for president takes place. Then there are values attached to each vote. Then how does it, suppose there is no whip at all, there is no whip means the party doesn't give a directive that you should vote for such and such person. Because there is an instance earlier in history when an unofficial candidate won over an official candidate in presidents. You are aware of it?
No.
This is where the details matter, and this is where most of our history stops with 1947 in school and all.
Right.
After that, we have got independence. Chacha Nehru spoke, and we get sweets and all, and we disperse.
Okay.
Our relevant history is after 47. If we have to be a better citizen, our knowledge of history before 47 is essential, no doubt. But post 47 is more important, because only then you will know what happened. Now, the present government talks a lot about against emergency. Emergency was imposed some 50 years back, nearly.
Right.
How many people know the details? How many youngsters? People vote at 18. His vote matters. 18-year-old, how much he knows about post-independent India? How much for them, Indira Gandhi is only a picture.
Correct.
Is only a vague picture. Rajiv Gandhi is a vague picture. Whatever happened in that time, emergency is a vague understanding of whatever is told to them.
They know only that Sikhs killed. This is all they know.
This is what happened. This is what happened, and
yes.
things like that. I think it was the year 1970 or 71.
Yes.
71. That Neelam Sanjeev Reddy was the official candidate of Congress.
Okay.
Mr. V.V. Giri was also a candidate independent, I think. I should check my facts if it is wrong. But for some reason, we will go into detail some other time. Indira Gandhi being Prime Minister, she said that all the Congress MPs and MLAs can vote according to their conscience.
Okay.
They need not vote for Neelam Sanjeev Reddy. And believe it or not, the official candidate Sanjeev Reddy lost the election, and Mr. V.V. Giri became the president.
Oh, okay.
So these are things which hardly people know.
Nobody.
Nobody means senior people will be knowing. But I want the youngsters to know, absolute youngsters who are coming out of college, school, they should know post-47 history. We will try to get some big people who have written on post-independent history. And then we will see if they are willing to come. If they come, we will have a series of talks with them. Because they have written beautiful books like India After Gandhi.
Okay.
It covers the entire Ramchandra Guha.
Okay.
So we can tell him that we would like you to come and have interaction with us on each chapter, or maybe 3 chapters at a time of his book, which is pretty fat. So that will give us a perspective, because he has done huge research, and I read his book cover to cover.
Okay.
And I found it fairly balanced. It's not very leftish or rightish. But we can also call people who represent the right wing, their views. We can call people who represent a religious sect, and we can ask them what is their view about India and its path that it is taking. Let us listen to people. Let us listen to people. Let us talk to them, and in detail, very great detail. Let us go into detail. Let us keep on plumbing the whole situation to such an extent that we will get water first, then oil first, then we may get diamonds, we may get, and that is where the truth lies.
Got
You
it.
take out what Devi Dutt Patnaik writes about the truth, that Indra has 1,000 eyes, Varuna has a few eyes. It's a small passage. He writes in all his books.
Okay.
In all his books he will write.
Oh. Fiction is nobody's truth. Myths are somebody's truth.
No, he'll write another. Varuna has 100 eyes, Indra has 1,000.
Okay. Within infinite myths
Huh.
lies the eternal truth who
Yes.
sees it all.
No,
Varuna
now slowly read it for the people who are viewing.
Within infinite myths lies the eternal truth who sees it all. Varuna has but 1,000 eyes, Indra 100, and I only 2.
Yes. We all have only 2 eyes, 2 ears, and 1 brain with which we acquire and assimilate things. Now, how far we reach the truth is not known to us, because behind infinite myths lies the eternal truth. Whether we can reach the eternal truth or not, we do not know. But at least let us open up one more petal of that lotus, knowledge lotus, or the details. Somewhere there will be a Sahasrara, is the 1,000-petal lotus, which opens up.
Okay.
It's not that we are in a position to open up all the 1,000 petals, but we can open 1, we can open 2, we can open 5. We can do something towards that, because to reach the eternal truth, you require infinite. Behind infinite myths, there is the eternal truth, and to remove all those myths and reach the truth is well nigh impossible. But through this, we will make an attempt. We'll make it interesting. We will not have any opinion which is contrary to our conscience. We will subscribe to every shade of opinion. We will listen to everybody, however radical, however mild, however this thing. Let us listen to them. Now, what is wrong in listening?
Sure. Because you said after independence, history is so important for us to be better citizens.
Yes.
But the education system is designed by people at the top, and probably I would like to know a little more about how the education system is built. The content is being done by a body. Is it approved by the political leaders at that point of time? What people should study?
Now is the very right time to talk about it, because we are in the process of adopting and implementing this new education policy of 2020. Now let us do lot of shows on that. Let us see if we can get hold of people who formulated this syllabus, formulated this curriculum. Then let us also discuss as to how it could have been. We have both gone through the schooling process. We know what are the pitfalls. We know, almost 70 to 80% of things that I have read has got no relevance in our life. But we have not read the things which would be relevant. Many things. All these up to 12th standard, we have read so much of calculus, sine theta, cos theta, tan theta, this, that, partial differentiation, integration. I have not found 1 rupee worth of it in our modern life, in my life. But there are many students who would have become great in mathematics, who would have become mathematicians, who would have done so many things, engineers who are engineers, not like me. Those people would have made use of that knowledge. Now, why should everybody read it? Why not have a basic this thing and then allow the person's genius to bloom or blossom?
Are there countries who actually do this in the world? So, like they have.
There must be. Well, let us find out. I don't want to make an off-the-cuff remark.
Okay.
But one thing I can tell you with emphasis is that I was sitting in the mock interview board for about 30 candidates for this UPSC interviews which are going on, or it might just be over. About 25 of them are engineers. 25 of them are engineers.
But they don't want to do anything with engineering. But
they have been sitting without doing anything for 6 years, 7 years.
Working somewhere and studying UPSC.
Yes. Now, how does it? What does it tell about the education policy of this government? whom do you want as a generalist servant? All civil service are generalist service, which Lord Macaulay had told that a general student with good intelligence and high integrity qualifies to be a civil servant. Now, high intelligence, high integrity, are these people out? Are they going to show these qualities, or they are not going to show these qualities? This is something else we can talk about.
Right.
So let us begin our journey, and let us keep exploring new topics, new areas. We will try to bring people who will also be participant with us. However different their views are, we will respect it. However radical their views are, we will listen to it. They have a right to speak, and they have a right to convince. If we see the 9 o'clock television news, only the decibel levels are there, cacophony. But we will try to avoid it. If a person is wanting to talk for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, we listen to him. Let him, unless he starts repeating.
Okay.
If he keeps going round and round in circles, then we will politely request him that I think we have heard this. So otherwise, let us listen to them. Yeah. So this should be this is my, what do you feel?
So, I'm more interested in, like, you checked on people who did mock interviews and you saw them. So you felt engineers are all the same type when it comes to intelligence, or is there a drive within them which makes them choose IR? Because you've chosen UPSC at a very young age, and a lot of things have changed after that. So right now,
more engineers are coming than me.
Is the drive right? You said it's integrity and honesty, integrity and intelligence, and probably the will to serve the public.
These are the things that go at the bottom of it.
Okay.
Not anything else.
So that is actually understood in the process of selection.
Yes and no. Yes and no, because there is a huge effort by UPSC and the government to ensure that these traits are brought out, and the people with these traits are taken. But if we see the actual working of civil service as a reflection against these traits and these habits, then you know the answer as much as I know. So we should not. But what is the method? What are the possible methods? We will talk about all that in detail. We'll take up one thing and we will talk. Today we have been talking about anything and everything.
Got it.
So that is what would be devil in details. We will get back to the audience as many times as possible in a week, irrespective of whether they are watching it or not, whether they are subscribing for it or not. Let there be a joy in solitude also, and let us do it, because as Khalil Gibran says that the flowers in the valley are not throwing its fragrance because somebody is standing there and smelling it. In his chapter of giving, he says that the flowers in the valley are throwing up the fragrance because that is their nature. So likewise, we have been behind this idea for a very long time. So now it is time to give it a shape and possibility, and let us go about it. Whatever is outcome is irrelevant.
Got it.
Yeah.